Just when we thought Week 1 couldn't be topped, Week 2 was another wild one.
Unbelievable. The Jets overcoming a 13-point deficit in the final minute, 55 seconds.
You, the fans, strung together 9 correct predictions compared to our 8. Unfortunately, that's the only thing you won this week, as your underdog Chargers fell to the Chiefs while the Packers cruised past the Bears to secure our lock of the week. So, because you beat us in Week 2, it's time to give away another prize. And the latest $50 Visa gift card goes to the Smoke Dance. Congrats, the Smoke Dance. Hey, just hit us up via the email address that's on the screen and in the description below, and we'll get that gift card out to you as soon as possible. As for Week 3's prizes, if you want a chance to win, here's what you gotta do. Number 1, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, which you should be anyway if you want all the latest, greatest NFL content. Number 2, head on over to our Instagram page and follow us there. The link is in the description below. And number 3, comment below how many times you spot the David Tyree helmet catch cut out in this video. Watch it twice if you have to. Just make sure you get the number correct and post it below. Then after that, just make sure you tune in next week to see how you did and whether you're a lucky winner. Alright, well, heading into Week 3, the fans now hold a 2-game lead over the TPS crew. Can we cut into that lead with this week's picks, or will it be another winning week for the fans? Well, let's get right into it, starting with an AFC North battle on Thursday night. Pittsburgh Steelers at Cleveland Browns. Fans underdog of the week. Tough to trust any team that blows a 13-point lead to the Jets with 2 minutes left. The fans seem to agree with that, as you're all going with the visiting Steelers as your underdog of the week. But you know what? We're not buying it though. This Pittsburgh team is not the same without TJ Watt, and Mitch Trubisky's arm looks even worse than Ben Roethlisberger's. We see the Browns' defense and ground game dominating this one as they cruise at home 20-6. Houston Texans at Chicago Bears. Lovie Smith travels back to his former stomping ground when his Texans travel to Soldier Field in search of their first win of the season. The fans think it'll be the Bears coming away with a 2-1 record, but we're going against the grain once again. The Texans have had 2 impressive performances thus far this season, tying the Colts before losing a close one against Russell Wilson and the Broncos at Mile High. They are getting so close to securing that first W. Well, I say they get it this week, as Lovie gets some revenge on his former team with a 17-14 Texans victory. Las Vegas Raiders at Tennessee Titans. It's pretty crazy to think that one of these teams will be 0-3 after this week. Y'all think it'll be the Titans, and yeah, we gotta agree with ya. Derrick Henry just doesn't look like himself out there, and Ryan Tannehill seems lost without A.J. Brown. It is tough to trust a West Coast team playing on the 1 p.m. Eastern slate, but it's even harder to trust Tannehill these days. So we're rolling with Vegas 31-17 as Josh McDaniels' club redeems themselves after that embarrassing bottle job against the Cardinals. Kansas City Chiefs at Indianapolis Colts. When in doubt, go with Mahomes. That's the motto we're going with, as both us and you, the fans, are going with the Chiefs. Only difference is we're making it our lock of the week. We would have never imagined choosing this as our lock of the week 1 week ago, but after everything that's transpired and how close all of this week's other matchups appear to be, we had to go with Mahomes and the Chiefs with the extra rest over a slumping, banged-up Colts team. Andy Reid is 20-3 coming off a bye, and while the Chiefs aren't coming off an official bye week, they will have the advantage of having 3 extra days of rest and preparation. So look for Mahomes and company to make the most of it with a 30-21 win. Buffalo Bills at Miami Dolphins. This should be a fun one between 2 undefeated AFC East rivals with the top 2 offenses in the conference right now. The Tua doubters may be silenced, but they're still not putting their faith in the Dolphins, as the fans have chosen the Bills on the road by a landslide. Miami has the playmakers on offense to keep up with Buffalo, no doubt, and they have a good enough defense to keep things close. But these Bills are the Super Bowl favorites for a reason. They'll put the brakes on the Tua hype train for 1 week with a 28-10 victory in South Beach. Detroit Lions at Minnesota Vikings. One of these NFC North teams will come out of Week 3 with a 2-1 record and a share of top spot in the division. You TPSers believe that'll be the Vikings, but not so fast. These Lions have something going here. In Week 1, they nearly pulled off an epic comeback against the same Eagles team that demolished the Vikings in Week 2 on Monday Night Football. It took the Lions 13 weeks to get their first win last season. This year, they get their second win by Week 3 as they take down the Vikings in a shootout 38-35. Baltimore Ravens at New England Patriots. John Harbaugh's club has to be feeling down after what happened last week against Miami. Now they'll go on the road to take on the Patriots team that's feeling pretty good about themselves after beating the Steelers. That hasn't swayed the polls though, as you still went with the Ravens to come away with the W. We're not crazy about picking against Bill Belichick at home, but in this instance, we feel like we have to. The Ravens were impressive for 3 quarters against the Dolphins. They'll learn from their mistakes and play a full 4 quarters this week. And the result will be a 20-14 victory for Lamar Jackson's club. Cincinnati Bengals at New York Jets. Even with all the Bengals' recent struggles, it was still no surprise to see the fans vote in favor of the reigning AFC champs against the Jets. Well, I don't feel great about this, and we may very well be handing you people a pre-game here, but something in my gut is saying J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets! That's right, we're going with gangrene, not because they're the better team, or because they have the better coach, because they don't. But after watching the Bengals through the first 2 weeks of the season, I can't help but think that the Super Bowl curse is real. And boy, is it affecting Cincy's 2022 season in a big way so far. So we're banking on that continuing in Week 3 as the Jets pull off the shocker at home, 28-27. The Philadelphia Eagles at Washington Commanders. Carson Wentz revenge game. Only you TPSers don't see him getting that revenge based on the polls. Despite being on the road, the Eagles won this vote convincingly. And yeah, with good reason. Through 2 weeks, Jalen Hurts has looked like a bona fide MVP candidate. Wentz hasn't been too bad himself, with 7 touchdowns so far, but his 3 interceptions are very concerning. He won't have to deal with a raucous Philly crowd, but the advantageous Eagles defense will give Wentz enough fits to force some turnovers and secure the 34-20 victory. New Orleans Saints at Carolina Panthers. Trying to predict what you'll get out of Jameis Winston and Baker Mayfield is no easy task. You, the fans, are going with the Saints, which means you must be banking on Jameis not throwing another 3 interceptions. Well, we're not feeling so confident, not after hearing about the 4 fractures that the Saints QB is dealing with in his back. Baker Mayfield will still be gunning for that first win as a Panther, so we're predicting he gets it in Week 3, thanks in large part to a monster performance from Christian McCaffrey. How does 24-14 sound? Jacksonville Jaguars at Los Angeles Chargers. It's Phenom quarterback against Phenom quarterback as Trevor Lawrence takes on Justin Herbert. The people have spoken, and they're going with the latter. And yeah, us too, as the Bolts will have an extra 3 days to recover following their first loss of the season. I mean, they nearly beat the Chiefs on the road. They couldn't possibly lose at home to the Jags. Or could they? Give us the Chargers in a 38-20 romp. Los Angeles Rams at Arizona Cardinals. After a rough Week 1, the Rams got rolling in Week 2, and the fans see it continuing into their Week 3 battle with the Cardinals. Zona will be amped up after their big comeback win over the Raiders, but that's not going to help them slow down Cooper Kupp. Not to mention the fact that the Cards are dealing with quite a few injuries on the offensive side of the ball. Kyler Murray is capable of doing some amazing things, but not this time. Rams take it 21-17. Atlanta Falcons at Seattle Seahawks. When it comes to Falcons games, no lead is safe. Keep that in mind when you're watching this contest, if you decide to subject yourself to such torture. Choosing between 2 bottom-tier clubs is pretty tough, so picking the home team is never really a bad idea. And that's all what you've done by going with the Seahawks. Well, we're going with the unconventional method, however, by picking the team that is known for blowing leads of all kinds. That's right, we're predicting that AJ Terrell shuts down DK Metcalf, Drake London has the best game of his young career, and the Falcons finally hang on to a lead and win this one on the road 23-20. Green Bay Packers at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Despite all the injuries, the Bucs keep winning, and you TPSers are expecting more of the same as you're going with Tampa by a rather wide margin. These Packers should not be taken lightly though. They're getting healthier while the Bucs continue to lose more players each week. Brady can only do so much with that patchwork offensive line and a bunch of backup wide receivers. On Sunday, it all catches up to him and the Bucs as the Packers get revenge for their loss in the NFC title game 2 years ago by beating Tom Brady's team 24-16. San Francisco 49ers at Denver Broncos. One team is being forced to turn back to their old quarterback, while the other team can't be happy with what they're seeing from their new quarterback. The fans clearly have confidence in a bounce-back effort from Russell Wilson, though, as the majority of you are back in the Broncos. but it was close. And rightfully so. Both teams are 1-1 after coming into the season with sky-high expectations. It's the Niners, however, who have looked like the much better team. In fact, they just finished routing the same Seahawks team that beat the Broncos in Week 1. So we're going with the better team and taking San Francisco on the road in this one. Let's say 28-27 in a Sunday night thriller. Dallas Cowboys at New York Giants. And finally, we cap things off with a battle between two surprising NFC East teams on Monday night. No one expected the Giants to enter this contest with a 2-0 record. The same way no one expected the Cowboys to beat the Bengals last week without Dak Prescott. But it looks like y'all are buying into the Giants more so than Cooper Rush, as the G-Men earned 3 times the amount of votes in the polls. Well, we're gonna gladly go against the public here, as TPS is firmly on the Cooper Rush bandwagon. He seems to have the offense running efficiently, and Micah Parsons is quickly asserting himself as one of the biggest game changers in the league on either side of the ball. We believe he can force Daniel Jones into enough mistakes to help the Cowboys come away with a 17-10 road victory. Well, there you have it. 16 games, 16 picks in the books, including 9 games in which we went with opposite picks. Will we see some more upsets? Will you, the fans, come out on top once again for the 3rd straight week? Will you finally be able to hit your underdog of the week? Or will our lock of the week flop for the first time this season? This should be yet another great week of football. And remember, if you want a chance at winning any of the prizes from our TPS versus the World Challenge, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, head on over to our Instagram page and follow us there, and most importantly, like this video and comment below how many times you spotted the David Tyree helmet catch cutout throughout this episode. Watch the video as many times as you need to, just make sure that you don't miss any. And, of course, don't forget to vote in the community section on next week's games. Then check back next Thursday to see if you won any prizes. And with that all being said, see you next week.